Buongiorno. My name is Edgar Degas. Welcome to Vintage Keys Studio. Today I'm going to be showing you the RCA Orthophonic Preamp LM 32215. Yes, here is the RCA LMI 32215, which was made in the late 50s, about 1958, I think. And it came to me in a awful state like this. This is the tuner part of the hi-fi unit that it came from. And I've taken a few bits out of there, but you can see it's sort of a bit old and tarnished. And I bought them as a job lot that together. The reason why I bought this is because it was known to be used by Joe Meek, the famous record producer. Now I'm a huge Joe Meek fan, both in girth and admiration. And this is one of the main ingredients to his vocal sound, one of these. This one originally would have had a valve amp with it, like a power supply amp with it. This one didn't come with any power supply. So I built a power supply for this one to run this. And it works very well. And I replaced all of the capacitors inside and just checked it out and cleaned it up a bit. And then I had my friend Steve, another Steve, he made me the enclosure that it fits inside, because it's actually only this section. Joe Meek used one of these and he called it his cooker. It was used for primarily vocals, I think, but we've used it quite successfully on saxophone recordings. I've also used it to colour sounds that I run onto tape, and then I've processed various things for some companies I've worked for. Inside here, there's one EF86 valve or tube, and two ECC81 tubes. They are also known as 12AT7s. And it's a pretty straightforward little amplifier that it just adds a bit of bass and a bit of treble. So the controls on here, it's got a multiple input selector, which I only use one input on this. But originally this one would have had a gramophone input, microphone input, and another gramophone input. And then This thing was designed for a hi-fi system. Later models of this actually had the word orthophonic on it, like this tuner has. I don't think it makes much difference if it says orthophonic or not, because orthophonic was a sort of a word, I think it was a made-up word, a bit like a bit like hi-fi, really. It's just like a kind of a swanky new word so people could say, but is it okay? But is it orthophonic? And they would say yes. Well, I'll have that one then, please. So that's as far as I know is what the word means, because it's not really used anymore. If anybody out there knows, then please do write down somewhere. So that's probably enough talking about the actual thing, apart from to say that they don't usually come up for sale very often. So I was quite lucky to get this one, even though it was completely broken and rusted. If you want to listen to some recordings with this on, most of the Joe Meek stuff, possibly after about 1961, I think he used this. But again, I may be wrong there, because there's loads of conflicting reports, because there was no like proper records of anything much of him. I think it's used on John Leyton song, Johnny Remember Me, on the vocal, and also on Wild Wind, and then probably everything else after that as well. And when I put my headphones on in a second and I plug you into it so you can hear, you should be able to hear what I'm talking about. The RCA Orthophonic Preamp. I'm putting my headphones on so I can hear what I'm doing, because obviously it would feed back with the levels I'm going to be running through this. So let's have a listen to what it sounds like. Now I've got a microphone set up here, and I'm just going to speak normally, and I might speak strangely. And as I go, I'll give you a bit of a explanation as to what I'm doing. This one's got multiple inputs, but I've only actually got it connected up to the mic input. It has like its own mic preamp inside, and as you can hear, it's this is a completely flat frequency response on here. So the bass is at 0, the volume's at 5, treble's at 0, and the filter is at flat at the moment, and the slope is off. So first of all, if I just turn the volume up a bit, you should hear that it starts to get quite distorted, and not a bad sounding distortion really. And then if I increase the treble there, you can hear the husky overtones of my voice, and then if I increase the bass there, it just becomes like a noise. But anyway, let's turn it down a little bit. Now you can hear the sort of sibilant sounds are quite pronounced there, obviously because I've got the treble all the way up. If I now roll the filter in, so I'll put the filter in so it's at 10k, so at flat you can hear, so if I make a snaky sort of a sound, what I'll do is while I'm making the snake sound, I will move the filter round, and it will go from flat to 10k, to 7k, and to 5k. So let's just start up at flat. So I'll start making my snake sound now. You can hear there's a sort of a slight, as I talk and then move it back up, you can hear the it's like a what do you call it, like a shelving filter that sort of goes all the way up to the top. And now with the slope, it needs to be on to on 10k there. And as I talk, and if I move the slope, turn it on and then sort of move it around, you can hear it's kind of it's changing to. I hope you're finding this entertaining. And then I stick the filter on the 5k one and move that round, and you can hear it's the sounds sort of changing ever so slightly there in a quite pleasant way. Let's roll all of the treble off and all of the bass off, and then put the slope back to there, and then move the filters so it's completely off. So that's not a bad overall sound, and but you can get incredible hissy sort of sounds on this thing with wonderful distortion on all the sibilants. And I love this thing. I could play with this forever. It's probably not the best thing for me to be talking through, and it's probably not a very nice sound of my voice, but I'm hoping I can get my videographer Louisa to sing something in a minute, and then I'll rotate some knobs and I'll film her. I've just spoken to Louisa and she said yeah, so she's going to now sing something through here while I twiddle some knobs. I might add a bit, I've got a bit of a homemade stereo spring reverb as well that I might add in just for effect, but yeah, she'll hopefully be able to get a better sense of the sound of this thing. Right, okay, I will pass the beret and the headphones to her now. Okay, right, so now there's Louisa here with the beret on. She is going to sing some R's and things, and as she does, I will play around with the controls. I might shout over her a little bit to tell you what I'm doing, but you hopefully be able to hear as the EQ sound changes. So anyway, so after you.
Do boo do boo do boo 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 do 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 da
And yes, so all through that I was basically just twiddling the bass and the treble and moving the filters up and down and moving the volume up and down, and it sounded quite nice. I thought I might put some reverb on it. Now, if you'd like to sing something with a bit of snakiness in it.
Yes, 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 yes,
I like that. Scissors, 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 scissors.
Scissors, 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 scissors.
Now I think you'll agree that that is probably the best sounding scissors you're ever going to hear on YouTube. By the way, if you're enjoying the scissors, why not press like and subscribe and all that stuff. We've got some more. Oh, hang on a second. Oh, we got some more Joe Meek stuff coming up later, and we've also got some new organs and some new bits and pieces and some tape stuff. I hope you've enjoyed this tour around the RCA. I can't remember the number. LMI 32215 Orthophonic Preamp from about 1958. Similar to the one that Joe Meek used. Good night.